a lot of the Mannerists end up playing with reality even further. One of my personal favorites is Green Jesus. Hello everyone! Today is a very special day because we are breaking from our studies on Impressionism to look at a really weird little branch of the Western canon called Mannerism. But buckle up to figure out how we get there. This artist was actually a suggestion by one of my subscribers, and I wanted to give him this video as soon as possible, so let's get to it. The artist we are looking at today is from Crete. Can you tell I just got back from Greece and learned how to pronounce everything? His birth name, however, is Dominikos Theotokopoulos. Thank you to everyone on my Instagram who helped me. That one took some coaching. Although he was born in Greece, his art studies eventually took him to Italy and Spain, where a 10-syllable name was just too much for the locals, and here he was given the nickname El Greco, which he is still popularly known as today. So El Greco was born in 1541, almost certainly to a Greek Orthodox family, and by the age of 22 he was considered a Byzantine master. He trained in the traditional Byzantine style of art, which is all about religious devotion and hosts these kind of flat, stylized figures. It also utilizes ornate decorations around the holy people. To give you some reference, Ficos is a contemporary example of a Byzantine-influenced artist. We don't know exactly when El Greco moved to Italy, but we know he was there by 1567. It seems like here, the exposure to Renaissance style influenced him to expand his own artistic style. If you'd like a refresher on Renaissance art, I'll have one linked in the description. But be warned, it is old. His goal was to set himself apart from other Greek artists in Italy, which there were many of, as Crete was under semi-colonial Italian rule at this time. But this effort sent his work into really unusual depictions of religious figures. El Greco, along with other similar artists, became known as the Mannerists, and these works are best described by the term phantasmal. The thing you need to know about Mannerism is that it's coming from this world right next to the Renaissance styles we're used to. The Renaissance definitely had this ethereal quality because it was also depicting these holy figures, but to me the Mannerist style looks ahead of its time. It seems in some aspects very color blocked. It seems to draw much more from abstraction, and often the Mannerists really exaggerate the human form in a way that stylistically the Renaissance masters just didn't really do. The Mannerists derived from some of Michelangelo's late work. Michelangelo got very interested in human anatomy and the way muscles looked, and he exaggerated musculature on a lot of his figures. The Mannerists seem to kind of see this and just run with it. This is one of El Greco's most famous pieces, The Burial of the Count of Orgaz. This oil painting was commissioned by the parish priest of Santo Tomé, and it is widely considered El Greco's greatest masterpiece and a perfect example of a Mannerist painting. The artist himself supposedly referred to this as his sublime work. The context of this piece speaks to the legend of a man who died and left a lot of his money to the church. His generosity led St. Augustine and St. Stephen to escort him to heaven, which is the moment we see in the painting. Historians note the singular plane that our mortal world occupies at the bottom of the painting. The shapes and colors here are much more somber and tangible. We can still see the holy figures adorned in gold and ornament, but they lack this vibrant luminosity that El Greco gives us at the top of the painting. As we move up, the shapes definitely become more free-form and abstract, and the colors and lighting effortlessly capture our attention. It's also fun to note that the boy in the bottom left of the painting is reportedly El Greco's son. So when you compare this style to the Renaissance style that was largely popular at the time, you can see where the Mannerists definitively diverged from the realistic representation into this representation that seems otherworldly. A lot of the Mannerists end up playing with reality even further. One of my personal favorites is Green Jesus. But El Greco seems to perfectly marry the Byzantine style with the Renaissance style, while contributing to the creation of a new art style altogether. A huge shout out to Alejandro Fernandez for asking me to cover this artist. I've been waiting to discuss Mannerism for a while because I think it's a really neat little weird area of art history. And this suggestion just made all the pieces fall into place with me just having come back from Greece and having gotten to see some of the Orthodox Byzantine styles myself. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week.